Yeah. Oh, yeah, we talked to her. Oh, she came in before we all got here. Because she wanted to go to the meeting over there. Which I think
As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, sisters, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh, sisters, let's go down, down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, brothers, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh, brothers, let's go down, down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, fathers, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh, fathers, let's go down, down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way. Oh, mothers, let's go down, let's go down, come on down. Oh, mothers, let's go down, down to the river to pray. As I went down to the river to pray, studying about that good old way, and who shall wear the starry crown? Good Lord, show me the way.
Doesn't that sound like a really old song? It has an old feeling to it. Oh, that's right, yeah. Thanks, Bob. We want to say how old that was. Doesn't care who you are, doesn't know your name. You have to play it out your own way. Think we know our past. We only know today. Have to play it out our own way. Love has a way of mending Life has torn us apart, but what we feel is still real. No time in life for pretending. We have to pick up the phone. We have to send the mail. How are we to know, even if we fail? Love has a way of bending. Love has a way. Love has a way. Nobody knows the ending. It holds you, it heals you, protects you in time of pain. It moves you when you are still and silent. Love has a way of bending. Love has a way. Love has a way. Nobody knows the ending. Nobody knows. Nobody knows. Nobody knows the ending. Love is why I'm here. Let me be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. Give and receive. Give and receive. If love is why we're here, let us be an open channel. If love is why we're here, let us give and then receive. Give and receive. Give and receive. If love is why you're here, may you be an open channel. If love is why you're here, let us give and then receive. Give and receive. Give and receive. If love is why I'm here, us be an open channel. If love is why I'm here, let me give and then receive. Give and receive. Give and receive. Give and receive. Give and receive.
Good morning. All you fabulous people. Does anybody remember Romper Room when you were little? I see Alice and Judy, and nobody ever said, I see Tammy. I waited every week. I was like, oh. And then even I was like, you think she's going to ever call my name? And that name back in, the 1800s was the name. So, good morning. And let's all stand to sing the opening song, I Can See Clearly Now.
I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Gone are the dark clouds that had me blind. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. I think I can make it now, the rain is gone. All of the bad feelings have disappeared. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. Look all around, there's nothing but blue skies. Look straight ahead, there's nothing but blue skies. I can see clearly now, the rain is gone. I can see all obstacles in my way. Here is that rainbow I've been praying for. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day. It's just gonna be a bright, oh, bright, sunshiny day. It's gonna be a bright, bright, sunshiny day.
Let us pray. We open our hearts and minds to receive divine inspiration this morning at this very special place and time. May we allow Spirit to inform us of what is ours to release and what is ours to embrace. We open up, we release, and we receive as Spirit moves in, around, and through us. We are grateful for this glorious morning and for all those who are serving today of their gifts and talents. May we each be blessed in a special way. Amen. Welcome to Unity of Gulfport again. I feel like saying, I see Janet and Andrea, Charles.
Thank you. I waited the same way she did to hear my name and finally did.
Oh, I see Charles. So do we have any first-time visitors? Okay, do you want to tell us your name? You don't have to. I hate that when people do that. Okay. Julie?
Julie invited me. I'm Corla. I'm originally from Oklahoma. I've been here for about a year and a half, maybe 2 years, and learning to find my roots here in the coast. So, I thought I'd tell you.
Thank you. You said Corla?
C-O-R-L-A.
I thought that's what you said. I was really...
The name Carla, but with an O.
Yeah, Corla. How many people call you Carla?
Oh, people call me all.
Yeah.
They call me Corliss a lot.
Well, my name's Charles, and they call me all kinds of things, so, you know.
Okay, so welcome. Is this the first time you've been here? Okay. Because Julie said that this is not the first time she's been here, and I said the second time you're here, you're part of the crew. So it's just the way. That's it.
I don't know if it counts though, because the first time I came here was in the middle of COVID, so it was not this.
Oh, okay. Well, just remember the second time you come, you're part of the crew. We'll be like, help us. So, did you get a visitor's packet? Okay. Anybody else care to admit that they're first time? Okay, so if you can fill that out, there's an information card in there, and you can put it back there, and we'll add you to our mailing list, and you can find out all the fun things that we do here and what's going on. So now we'll move into our weekly affirmation. We come together to affirm and celebrate our unity, our oneness with each other, and with the source of all that is. In that spirit of unity, let us pause to enfold in light and love all people in our community and in our world. The candle of unity signifies the light within each of us and our connection to the source of all that is. And so it is. Let us affirm our faith. I have faith that God is my instant, constant, and abundant supply. I have faith that God provides ways when to human sense there is no way. I have faith that God is guiding me in all ways. I have happiness and success are assured. Now let's all sing, I'm ready for a miracle.
I'm ready for a miracle, ready for a miracle, I'm ready for a miracle today. I've got my mind in tune for one, ready to experience one, I'm ready for a miracle today. My mind is open, ready to receive it. My heart is open, open all the way. I do accept a miracle, do accept a miracle, I do accept a miracle today. I do receive a miracle, do receive a miracle, I do receive a miracle today. ready for a miracle, ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle today. I've got my mind in tune for one, ready to experience one. I'm ready for a miracle today. My mind is open, ready to receive it. My heart is open, open all the way. I do accept a miracle, do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle today. I do receive a miracle, do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle today.
Okay, our music is so fabulous. We have fun songs, interesting songs. Ooh, and now, the moment that we've all waited for. Matt Wells is going to come up and read the Daily Word.
Good morning, Unity of Gulfport. Thank you, Tammy. What a view. Today's Daily Word, Sunday, November 3rd, 2024, is Seasons. This was a really fun one. I was sitting in there in the chair reading it just now to pre-read it. It's a fun one. Throughout the seasons of life, my Christ light shines brightly. When winter follows the autumn harvest and the sun's light grows weaker, what may resemble barren land is actually a time of rest, a preparation for a new cycle of seasons. The sun's light and warmth change in ways that perfectly suit each season. My life, like planet Earth, moved through seasons, the awakening of wonder in childhood, exciting and sometimes stormy growth during adolescence and early adulthood, the achievements of my middle years, and the fulfillment that maturity can bring. The Christ presence, the divine light within me, is my unfailing source of strength, understanding, and comfort in every season of life. And from Genesis 1:14, and God said, "Let there be lights in the dome of the sky to separate the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons and for days and for years."
Thank you. And with seasons, we also have the going out of daylight savings time or coming in for daylight. I'm still trying to figure out what that is useful for. Does anyone know? Did everybody change their clocks? I have so many clocks, I have to do it in phases. So look at your bulletin. The announcements are on this slide and on the back of your bulletin. And always check your bulletin. It has some outstanding nuggets of information. Please join us in the fellowship hall after the service for finger foods, fun, and fellowship. Sunday morning discussion with Reverend Judy is 9:15 to 10 a.m., the first and third Sundays. Today, it was amazing. I mean, we all learned a lot, and we got to look inward at ourselves, and we discussed some really, really great growth things. Music night will be on November 22nd at 6 p.m. in the fellowship hall. There are some essential oils classes listed in the bulletin. They will take place in the fellowship hall this month, and I will be there. I love that. Unity Cleanup Day is November 23rd at 9 a.m. Thanksgiving luncheon is November 28th at noon. Bring a dish and a friend, and see Nay for details. Prayer requests. If you have any specific prayer requests, please fill out a prayer request form located on the back table. Drop it in the prayer box, and our prayer team here and at Silent Unity will pray for you. And now Reverend Alice will lead us in meditation. The meditative music is "The Joy is in the Journey." That's after the meditation. Thank you, Reverend Alice.
Thank you, Tammy. One of the things that I'm profoundly grateful for over these last almost 18 months are Reverend Judy's talks on self-awareness. I told you soon after she started that I thought I was pretty aware, self-aware. But her talks have led me more deeply into myself, discovering more about how I've been put together through the years. And a few weeks ago, well, I guess a couple of months ago, when she put into the bulletin an invitation to do things in the life of our community, I was just going to say, oh, I'll do what Tammy does. And then I saw the thing about meditation. And Spirit has a way of calling you. And I said, okay, I'll let Judy know. And then I said to Judy, spontaneously, I'll do the meditation the Sunday before the election. And Judy said, yes, your name is down there. You can't change your mind. So that has been working me since that Sunday. Micah 6:8. He has told you, O mortal, what is good, and what does the Lord require of you, but to do justice, and to love kindness, and to walk humbly with your God. Richard Rohr has daily meditations that I frequently use to help me move deeper into the journey of my own life. And he has one, a politics rooted in God's love. Our temptation is to begin with politics and then to try to figure out how religion can fit in. We start with the accepted boundaries of political debate and whether we find ourselves on the left or the right. Then we use religion to justify and bolster our existing commitments. But what if we make the inward journey our starting point? What if we recognize that our engagement in politics should be rooted in our participation in the flow of God's love? Then everything changes. We are no longer guided or constrained by what we think is politically possible, but are compelled by what we know is most real. At the heart of all creation, the mutual love within the Trinity overflows to embrace all of our life. We are invited to participate in the transforming power of this love. Create a miracle. There we discover the ground of our being, the centering of all of our life and our action. Bishop Hesburgh says, voting is a civic sacrament. A civic sacrament. where we as community create miracles.
Reverend Alice, that was awesome. Thank you. Now I have our meditative music. The joy is in the journey.
On all of the paths that have pointed to peace, in all of the cures that have promised relief, the message was in all of these. The joy is in the journey. The joy is in the journey. The joy is in the journey. In all of the books I've read and reread, in all of the lectures that play in my head, the wisdom of the great ones has said, the joy is in the journey. The joy is in the journey. The joy is in the journey for me. And don't be mistaken or misled, my friend. I got my days with the blues, but when I am down, I am held back again by someone who's been there too. So in all of the good times and all of the bad, in all of the chances I'd forgotten I had, the kindest thought always comes back. The joy is in the journey. The joy is in the journey. The joy is in the journey for me. The joy is in the journey. The joy is in the journey. The joy is in the journey for me.
Thank you. That was beautiful. Beautiful. Thank you. Just a word before we began. We set this little altar up last week, and it's water and salt. The water has been prayed over, and it was in honor of those who have passed. If you'd like to write their name on a little piece of paper, and the reasoning behind this little ceremony is this. It goes along with the Celtic ceremony for Samoa. Samhain is how we would pronounce it. And the reasoning is that write their name and a prayer on a piece of paper, take a pinch of salt, put it in the water, and as you observe the salt dissolving, you realize that the spirit has left the body and is the same way. The salt is still there, just as the spirit is still there, still alive. And then once the water evaporates, the salt will still be there. And it's the same way with the spirit of our loved ones. And I ask also, we had a little slip of paper we gave out to everyone. If you have a prayer request, write it simply. God knows the details. All you need to do is put down a name. Bring to mind the request that you want prayer for. Healing, prosperity, abundance, harmony, peace, 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 world peace. You may even want to express gratitude. We all know that gratitude is like magic. The more you're thankful for, the more you'll have to be thankful for. Then take your request, put it in the box, do the same thing. Take a pinch of salt and put it in the water. So you may do that at any time if you'd like, during or after the service. Just wanted to mention that. And also tell you that we had a couple of special prayer requests last week. One was for J.R. Wilson, our longtime member who has leukemia. And he knew that he had, his blood results were good. And he felt that the leukemia was gone, but they were waiting for a bone marrow test. And he let us know this week that the test came back negative, and so he's, we're happy about that. J.R. Wilson and his family, they live in Gaucher, and we've just been great friends for many years. Dan and I went to see Lewis, and he was at Pascagoula at the Singing River Hospital. And while we were there, he got word that he was going home Friday. So we're glad to know that too, that Lewis and Vicki said to tell everyone thank you for all the prayers. And I'm sure they'll be back soon. They live in Ocean Springs. The drive wasn't quite as bad for her because they live about as far, what direction is that? East? Get my directions straight. In Ocean Springs as you can get. So by the time you're there, it's not that far to Pascagoula, as it turns out. Anyway, continued prayers for them and several unspoken requests for peace and harmony and healing in lives. Peace, harmony, and healing for the world right now. And before I talk about influence and inspiration, I want to mention something that I wrote this morning, and just to tell you what I'm going to do the day of the election and the day after, just so you'll know what my life is going to be like, okay? This is what I'm going to encourage you to do, okay? All right, who will you be on the day after election is what I wrote. I said, in speaking at my spiritual center today, I cannot help but be aware of the fear and angst in the world about the upcoming election. I'm certainly not talking about politics today or any other day, because we don't do that, but I do want to ask the question, who are you going to be on the day after the election? Since each of us is a unique ray of God, will you be a demonstration of that? Or will you fall into fear, worry, angst, or perhaps mocking the ones whose candidate didn't win? That's not love, is it? That's not love. Neither of these is an example of spiritual maturity, is it? Here's how I intend to handle Election Day. I'm going to get up the way I always do, very early. I'm going to have my cup of coffee, and I'm going to spend at least an hour in meditation and prayer time. That's my time in the quiet, where I get ready for the day and I communicate with God. You see, as I'm going to talk in a minute, I'm under the influence of God. That's whose influence I'm under. Then I'm going to choose to be joyful, extending kindness to everybody. I'm going to go for a walk by the water. I'm going to walk about 2 miles. I think I'll enjoy the birds, the wildlife. I'm going to listen to the waves, the water. I'm going to talk to God the entire time I'm walking. I'm going to come home. I'm going to get cleaned up. And then for us, where we vote is close enough, I'm going to just walk right on over there. And after I'm finished, I'm going to take the long way home, and I'm going to walk back around to the water, and I'm going to enjoy a little bit more of that. I'm going to come home. I'm going to have a peaceful afternoon, knowing that God is in this. I'm going to smile at everyone I see. I'm going to have a totally peaceful day and do the things that are mine to do. Now, let me tell you what I'm going to do the day after election. I'm going to repeat all the above except going to vote. I'm going to get up especially early. I'm going to pray. I'm going to meditate. I'm going to stay at peace. I'm going to be love and expression, a demonstration of that ray of God that I spoke about a minute ago, that unique ray of God that we all are. I'm going to be God walking around in Judy clothes. How about that? I intend to be at peace no matter who wins the election. What about you? And I know there may be a little grieving that has to be had when something is lost. I know that. I'm not ridiculously that positive. I know that we can feel a tremendous loss. I know we can. Something that we've been hopeful over. I'm not going to let it affect my peace. I intend to be an expression of God no matter who wins the election. I intend to know that all will be well no matter what. Like the 2 little boys and the barn and the ponies. I know you've heard the story. The one little boy walks in and somebody said there's a pony in there, and he said, "Oh, with all that poop, there can't be a pony." The other little boy walks in the same barn or stable. He says, "With all this poop, there's got to be a pony here somewhere." And we can look at it that way, that if we truly trust in the divine, if we truly trust in God, then we're going to put all that we have behind it, and we're going to say, okay, you know what? This didn't look like what I thought it was going to look like. You know what? I may have thought there was going to be more of these that were going to vote this way or that way or whatever. Understand the grief and the disappointment. But then we've also got to know God is in this too. And there's got to be a gift in there somewhere. There's got to be a gift in it. And I intend to stay joyful and at peace and be an inspiration to others no matter what. No matter what. I'm not going to let it get me down, and I'm not going to say, oh, well, woe is me. I'm going to say, I'm going to do my best. I'm going to uphold my end. I'm going to be the joyful person that I've always been. And I'm going to be an inspiration, no matter what. I know I'm an expression of God's love and energy right here on this earth, and there is nothing to fear. I know that. There's nothing to fear. I have faith that God is my instant, constant, and abundant supply. Jesus encouraged us to love one another. Love one another, just as he loved us. I'm going to be an instrument of peace. What about you? Now, I said this morning that I was going to talk about influence and inspiration. How many of you have been inspired, influenced by someone in your life, and had it not been for them, your life may not have turned out to be the way it has? Yeah. Yep. Yep. What was it for you, Rick?
It was a professor in college.
Professor in college?
Yeah, I was finishing my associate's degree and realizing I had zero money.
Finished his associate's degree, realized he had no money.
Dr. Danielson saw my disappointment and asked me to come into his office. And I said, well,
Come down, come down, use the mic. I won't be repeating everything you said.
Anyway, Dr. Danielson asked me to come into his office and tell him what's the problem, and so I sat down. I go, well, I've figured it out, and if I go to college with what I can afford, it will take me 8 years to finish the next 2 years of my bachelor's degree. And Dr. Danielson goes, 8 years? Are you serious? That's a long time. And he goes, wait, how old will you be in 8 years if you don't finish your degree? And I'm like, I'll be like 29. He goes, whoa. How old will you be in 8 years if you do finish your degree? I said, well, it's still 29. And he goes, that is fascinating. And he walked out. I'm like, huh. And then it hit me, son of a gun. And it did take me 8 years, and I was 29, graduated from Point Loma Nazarene.
What about you, Tammy?
Do you really want to hear that story?
Yeah? 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 Tell us.
My dad, I was inspired and influenced by his many, many one-liners. But the thing, if I heard him say it 600 million times, I heard him say it 600 million times. He's always said, whenever I would complain about somebody doing something or whatever, he said, how does that affect you? And it didn't affect me. And then he said, this went hand in hand. You feel a whole lot better about yourself if you minded your own business. It's not a day goes by where I can't decipher between your business and my business, because I remember him saying that over and over and over. You feel a whole lot better about yourself if you just minded your own business.
That's interesting. In thinking about how we influence others, I was thinking about how we influence without interfering. And we don't want to interfere with others, do we, or their growth. The term an influencer, I was trying to figure out what that was. I heard it not too long ago. Yes, I know, I should have heard it years ago, but not too long ago. Someone had passed away, and so I heard that they were an influencer, and I thought, well, what in the heck is an influencer? I didn't even know what that was. And then come to find out, if you look up the definition of it, it's traditionally the way we think of it nowadays is with social media, because things are right there in your face. But we've had all these influencers for years. I remember when we were told, and I had read about this to remind me, that we were supposed to eat Kellogg's cornflakes for breakfast. Did you know that before that, no one ate cereal for breakfast? There was no such thing. You could have something like oatmeal, or you could have something like grits, or something like that, but there was no such thing. Cornflakes, they changed our lives. What'd they do? They influenced us, right? They influenced us. That's how marketing does. They've done it on TV for years. We know that. Oh, you just can't live if you don't go out and buy this new Porsche, or you can't, you just got to have this, that, and the other. Everybody has one of these. You know how that is with television, all the advertisements that we've looked at for years. And actually, they're influencing us to buy their products. And it's the same thing. That's what influencers are now. They just have a bigger worldwide web to influence us over. And it's so much easier. But I was thinking about what we do here, and it makes me feel good to know that we do it. We want to influence people, and I guess I can be an influencer too. I'm not sure I like the word, and I'm certainly not going to use that about myself. But we do want to give you the spiritual tools that you need to make your life easier, more joyful, bring all the things into your life that make it better by whatever standards you want that to be. Peace, harmony, prosperity, whatever that is. And so we would like to offer tips to help you with that. Now, if that influences you, that's fine. But the definition I would like to put behind that influence would be that it would be for your highest good. Your highest good. Not for mine. There's no money in it. For your highest good. For your highest good only. There's no incentive. There's no motive. We're not, we just want what's best for you. And then in thinking about how we don't want to keep someone, what was the word you used? Your dad said not to interfere, right? Not to interfere. You were interfering. Yeah, stay in your lane. Stay in your lane. I think about that when I go on my morning walk, and I stay in my lane, whether I'm on the sidewalk or I try not to interfere with others. When I'm down at the harbor in Long Beach, there's a fishing pier that is still, you can still go out on it. Some of the others haven't been rehabbed, believe it or not, since Katrina. They're working on that harbor now. And when I'm walking, I'm very careful. I won't go out on the pier if I think I'm going to interfere with someone else's pleasure that morning. I stay in my lane. I don't go out there if they're out there fishing and it's quiet and they're having a good time. I leave them to it. I don't want to interfere with someone else's peace and harmony. We're here to learn what love is and to influence others with that love so that they will go out and spread it. And it can start with one person. You may think, what in the world can one person do when you're thinking about sending love out into the world? And one lady said, well, you think that one small being can't be effective until you spend a night with a mosquito in a pup tent. And that'll change your mind. But what I want us to think about, too, is our typical sphere of influence that we think about, okay? You'll think about your sphere of influence, and it's traditionally been and accepted that there's me, and then there's this sphere of influence that I can typically influence people. And that would be the people I see, with, maybe they read what I've written, people that will come into my sphere physically. And then above that, we've traditionally seen, and then everything else I can't influence. Well, I want to erase that, okay? I want to erase that. Now, I'll say this about that there's been a reason for that, and that's our own emotional and mental health, is that if we're worrying about everything in the world, we need to start thinking about what I can control. Here's what I can control in here. But I want you to think metaphysically with me about what we actually can do in the world. We know that when grapes are ready to become ripe, one grape will start sending out a pheromone, and it's saying to the others, it's time to ripen. Did you know that? It's the truth. It's the actual truth. It's saying to the other grapes, it's time to ripen. And that's where our true power lies, in our ability through words and deeds and our beingness to demonstrate love in the world. And other people will catch on, and they'll do it too. A lady that comes to church here and does so many good things for so many people. I told her last week we were talking, excuse me, she was telling me about all the things she was going to do this past week, and I said, oh, you do so many loving things, and you're just so good in the community. She said something that surprised me, took me back just a little bit. She said, don't you know you're the one that taught me to love and what love is? It really touched me. We never know what influence we're having on anybody, do we? Through our loving acts, we think we're just making motions. We're just doing this, that, or the other. People are paying attention, and they're changing their lives because of it. They're deciding to be kind, to be generous, to be loving, to be forgiving. and moving forward. And we can make a difference. We can make a difference in the world. We know that metaphysically we can. There have been tests that or experiments where, for instance, in the early 90s, there was a type of meditation that was taught in some prisons. Now, these were hardened criminals, prisons. And before too long, there was a marked difference in the amount of violence in the prisons. And then there were further experiments that were held in cities where there was a high rate of violence and violent crimes. There were 1% of the population prayed and meditated every day and meditated on peace. And there was a marked difference in the amount of violence in those cities. And we know it's true. We didn't learn it when we were kids, but we know that we can make a difference and we can influence and we can inspire others with our love. And just like Tammy and Rick, there's so many stories we've seen on, speaking of social media, the teacher that stands into the door of his classroom every morning and dances and has each little child that comes in has their own unique way of saying good morning, and he greets them that way. They have their own little song and dance for each child. How special that must make them feel. Can you imagine? And I remember Rick, too, when we had our interview series, Rick shared that when he was a teenager that lived in a rough neighborhood, and his family life was pretty dismal, and his mother was working all the time. They didn't have enough money. They didn't have enough of anything. And one of the things that changed his life was it Sunday evening, Rick? You'd go down and lay close to the African American church. Church of the Living Waters. Ooh, I love that. And they would sing their gospel hymns on a Sunday evening, and he would just lay there and listen. It's why he does so much jazz with his music, too. They were an influence on him, even over his music. And I told a story, I know, a few years ago of the young man that when he finished college, he just wanted to go out across the country, and he did. He didn't have a whole lot of money in his pocket, and he was going to work his way across the country. And he had come to this place just off the interstate, and he was standing, getting ready to thumb it for a ride, and he saw a man coming his way, and he thought, oh no. He thought maybe the man he looked like he might be someone that was going to ask him for money. He said when the man got there, he held out a sack lunch that the man was going to use if he had worked that day. But it turned out he had been turned down for work at the local mine, and he wouldn't need the lunch. He said, I saw you here, and I thought you might get hungry. I wanted you to have something to eat today in your travels. And the young man later wrote a book about it. He said, that man changed my life. That gesture, that generosity, that love that he had. Here's a man that had nothing. He was living in a car that didn't even run. And he saw me thinking I might be hungry. and he offered me his lunch. He said, I thought about that man the rest of the day. I've thought about him the rest of my life. He changed it. Another young man, Alan Cohen, who's a very wildly successful spiritual leader, teacher, spoke about a rabbi. He said, I was a pimply, uncertain teenager with raging hormones and emotions. I didn't have a clue what to do with myself. Showed up, and this rabbi, he said the same thing. He changed my life. He cared enough. He encouraged me. He gave me confidence in myself. He encouraged me to do things, to run for the student union. I did. He said the same thing. If it hadn't been for him, my life would have been totally different. And I guess I would just like to encourage you today. I would like to influence you, if I could, to remain peaceful in whatever way you can, to remain positive, to remain loving, to remain joyful. Every great leader knows this. Every great band or orchestra leader knows this. Every great sports or other organizational leader knows this. You influence those around you by being your best, digging deeply. If you make a commitment, keep it. Don't do anything for the money. Do it for the joy. Do your best by inspiring others with your attitude, the way you live your life, your words, and how you go about your days. And there's something awe-inspiring about the influence we have on one another. I'll just ask you this. Instead of getting on social media and trying to be cute, getting someone else told, well, I guess I told them. How will you touch another with love and kindness today? What will you leave behind? And what will you take with you? After all, that's what we have in this life, is the effect that we've had on others. And that's the legacy that we're going to lead, each and every one of us. Now have a peaceful day and a beautiful, amazing week. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Reverend Judy. Thank you for teaching us, influencing us, and giving us things to think about when we leave. Now we give expression for our appreciation for all that is offered here at Unity of Gulfport. Please take your offering in your hands and say along with me. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, and all that I give, and all that I receive. I give in love, and I trust in God. Thank you.
My soul is welcome the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm at the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm at the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. I'm at the right place at the right time. I am just where I'm supposed to be. Oh, my soul is welcome here. Oh, my soul is welcome here. I am getting the message loud and clear. My soul is welcome here. My soul is welcome, my soul is welcome, my soul is welcome here.
That was lovely. Thank you. Thank you so much. We're so grateful for every person present here today and the loving energy they brought with them and the loving energy they are going to take back out into the world, being an influence, an influencer. We are grateful. We're grateful for these tithes and offerings. We ask that they would be blessed and multiplied tenfold for the giver and the receiver, heaped up, pressed down and running over. So it is. Amen. Come on down, kids. They're growing up. I can't call them children. Oh. Hey, cute kids. I love them. Okay, and with meaning, y'all, put some energy into this. We're influencing these kids. We love you. We bless you.
We appreciate you. And we behold the Christ in you, empowering you to do great things.
So it is. Amen.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, the peace that was meant to be. With God as creator, family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every step I take, let this be my joyous vow. To take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Good work, y'all. Good work.
Yep.